Hey guys, welcome to Bodacious. I'm Chef Nick and we are building the basics today with two special guests. We have Kazoo from the Blue Wahoos. It's a AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins here in Pensacola. And we have Anna Grace. She is the promotions trainee and also Kazoo's bestie, right?
Yes, we are besties.
So we are gonna cook together today and we are gonna make a quesadilla with chicken and we're gonna do a black bean salsa on top. Sound like a plan?
It's really good.
What is Kazoo's favorite food?
What is it? What do you think? Oysters.
Oysters, yes, absolutely. Nothing wrong with oysters. So to start off with today, I have a chicken breast here that we're gonna use in our quesadilla, and it is covered in just salt and pepper and a little paprika. And I'm gonna slide this into the oven, and I'm gonna go ahead and cook it in a hot oven of 400 degrees for about 12 minutes. Of course, at home, you need to cook it until it's done because some chicken breasts are thicker, some are thinner, so you just never know. Right, Kazoo? All right. And we're gonna start, while that is cooking, we're gonna start our salsa. We're gonna place things into this bowl here. We got some black beans to start. And that's about a cup of black beans. And then we're also gonna put some peppers in there. So a quick way to cut a pepper is pretty easy. We're just gonna take all four sides off. When we get to the bottom, I'm just gonna cut there, and what we throw away is just the seed portion. And then when we dice our peppers, we're gonna use the claw. And Kazoo knows all about the claw. How you do it? Yeah, you tuck your thumb in behind your fingers and you use your finger as a guide, and if the thumb is tucked in, you don't cut it off. Knock on wood. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this into strips. And that cut is actually called a julienne, but then we're gonna come back and just dice it up. And it can be a rough dice, it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's gonna go into our black bean mix. Now, Kazoo, we're next to a stove, right? So we have to be safe and careful and not touch things. Is your fur flame retardant? Okay, good. Because I think that's gonna be an important aspect of today's cooking class. All right, so we got about half a green pepper in there, and we're gonna do the same thing with the red pepper. We're gonna cut it all the way around. You wanna cut something? You think you can cut this? I think you can. Let's see your claw. Oh yeah, look at him go. Look at this guy. Eric and Travis are going to be in trouble over there at Wahoo Stadium. All right, beautiful. Thank you, Kazoo. You are multi-talented, aren't you? All right, so then we're gonna go in here with the red peppers. And we also have a cucumber. I like to add cucumber to the salsas that I make just because it adds a nice crunch and a freshness. And cucumbers have a seed lined down the middle. And if you cut the edges around the seed, just like we did the pepper, it keeps the seed out and it just leaves a crispiness of the remainder of the cucumber. And we'll do the same thing, kind of go julienne style. And we'll add the cucumbers. Sometimes I make a little mess when I cook, but one advantage of being a chef is that there's people that clean up behind you. I know, it's the best part. Anna Grace, how long have you been with the Wahoos?
Well, this will be my first season as the promotions trainee, but I was an intern 2 seasons ago.
Oh yeah, and where'd you go to college?
I went to college at Pensacola Christian.
Pensacola Christian, nice. And what did you, what was your degree in?
My major is sports management.
Sports management, nice. Is baseball something you've always loved?
It is. It's something I grew up watching in the summers, and then I just decided to apply for an internship, and I loved it at the Blue Wahoos. So
Good.
I decided to come back for the second season.
So we're also going to dice this tomato up. Of course, we have a little bit of a stem here on the tomato, but we're just going to avoid that by cutting around similarly to we did the pepper, so that the piece that we throw away is just that center core. And then we're going to do the same technique of dicing it. Again, not every dice has to be perfect. Have you guys ever been to a restaurant where they have like rustic dishes? A rustic dish is something that is like irregular. It's not always like very homemade. And a lot of restaurants charge more money for that, right? If it's rustic, so we're gonna make a rustic quesadilla salsa. How about that? Big money, Kazoo in that. And you guys, one of the reasons that we're doing a quesadilla is that it's one of the offerings at the ballpark, right? At Wahoo Stadium, they have quesadillas on the menu.
It is. It's one of Kazoo's favorites.
Besides oysters.
Yes.
You know that in World War II, almost every submarine had a dog as a mascot. Did you know that? Yeah, so that they would have a subwoofer on their submarine. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. All right, so we're almost done cutting this tomato. And we have our tomato, black bean, cucumber, pepper, and now to the onion. People cut onions all sorts of different ways. One easy way to do it is I like to cut the end off and then in half. And then once it's in half, you can peel the skin easily. And then we just go lengthwise, so we create that julienne again. And then we do the dice. So when I was in culinary school, my instructor, Chef Lima, if he ever heard a knife hit the cutting board like that, he would get really upset because that's not the proper way to actually cut. So it just made me think of him when I was doing that, because he wouldn't be happy to hear that. But if we were doing it the Chef Lima way, the idea is to rock the knife back and forth so you're not making noise and you're keeping your tip down and you're just rocking it this way. So you're not making that noise against the board.
Where did you go to culinary school?
Well, back then it was called the New York Restaurant School. It was in Manhattan, and I think now, because it was so long ago, now it's called the Art Institute of New York or something like that. So it doesn't really exist anymore, but it was on Varick Street in Manhattan. And then we have our salsa, so I'm going to give that a little bit of a stir. We'll do it over here. You mind giving that a little bit of a stir? And what we're going to add to that, just to give it a little bit more zest, is we have a key lime balsamic vinegar here. So I'm going to add a little bit of the key lime balsamic vinegar to add a little flavor. And then we're also going to add a bit of cilantro and roasted onion olive oil to give some onion and cilantro flavor and a little bit of a beautiful shine, as well as the health benefits that we're adding because of the olive oil. Very nice, Kazoo. Thank you, sir. Now, we have avocados are also going to go on our quesadilla. Best technique to cut an avocado, this one you got to be a little bit careful with. You just start the knife in and rotate it all the way around. All right, you pull that apart, and with the side with the seed, we hit it with the knife, give it a twist, it pulls it out, and then we carefully will cut strips like this. And then once that is done, we can grab a spoon and scoop it out. So this is going to be our avocado that we use as a topping for our quesadilla along with our salsa. All right, so I'm going to finish this avocado up, and when we get back, we're going to go ahead and take the chicken out of the oven, give that a dice, and start cooking our quesadilla. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Hey guys, all right, so we went ahead and pulled our chicken breast out of the oven. We let it cool a little bit as well. And we're gonna go ahead and dice this up. I wanted to ask Anna Grace, so what are some things happening over at Wahoo Stadium now?
Yes, right now at the stadium we have our curbside pickup where you can get all of your favorite ballpark food. And then we have our family meal kits where you don't have to cook for the night and you can check out our menu on bluewahoos.com. It's changing weekly. And then Kazoo's been busy driving around our community, or riding rather. It's not those drivers. And he's just visiting our local sponsors and riding through some neighborhoods just to spread some cheer.
Well, good job. And thank you for doing that, Kazoo. All right, so we're gonna dice up this chicken. I know that the meal kits over at the Wahoo Stadium have been very popular. And if someone were interested in those things, how would they make contact with the Wahoos?
Well, you can look at our full menu on bluewahoos.com, and then if you'd like to place an order, you can just call our stadium and you can find that number online as well.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll bowl up this chicken. And now we get to make the quesadilla. I'll change my gloves because anytime you handle chicken, it's always good to change over to somewhere else. We do not have gloves that fit you, unfortunately, because you have large hands, we'll call them. All right, so we're gonna turn this skillet onto about a medium heat. And one of the things that we, well, my favorite olive oil that we have here at Bodacious is our butter flavored olive oil. I can love to saute eggs in it. We can cook with it. Just so many versions and options to use with it. So we're gonna add a little bit of the butter flavored olive oil. And what it is 3 olive oils crushed together that gives it the flavor of butter. So one thing that's important when we saute anything or cook in olive oil is that we allow the pan to kind of get hot and the oil to get hot. That'll give us a little bit of the caramelization and color on the outside of it that we're looking for. So we'll add the bottom of our quesadilla. This is a shredded Monterey Jack cheese, but a cheddar or anything else works well in addition to the Monterey cheddar. And I like a cheesy quesadilla. In fact, I was gonna tell you a joke about a quesadilla, but it was just too cheesy. Oh no, it's terrible. So we're gonna go add some chicken to that as well. I like to try to make sure every bite gets some chicken, right? And then we're gonna add one to the top. And actually, before I add that top one, I'm gonna add a little bit more cheese just to keep the chicken in place. You like oysters? I know you like cheese because you're excited about the cheese. So we're gonna have, after a flip blows out 30 seconds, we have some nice color going on. And we're gonna let that toast for a second. And we always wanna keep, kind of press it down so the cheese melts. One thing I love about quesadillas and just having flour tortillas around is flexibility. I mean, you can put anything you want into a quesadilla. You can use any kind of cheese, you can use any kind of protein. A shrimp quesadilla is delicious. If you want to get fancy, one of my favorite quesadillas is actually a caramelized apple with gorgonzola cheese and sliced beef strips. Very nice. And then you can also flip it yourself if you want. You want to try? Look at that guy go. Look at him go. Oh, that's all right. We'll save it. We're going to save it. That's your piece right there on that end, yeah? Oh, nice, nicely done. All right, so there's our quesadilla. Now, to plate this, we're going to take it off, and I have a plate over here. And typically, you know, these quesadillas are nicely cut into triangles. We'll put our 4 quesadillas on there. And then we have our salsa here. I think a little mound in the middle would look nice. This is our black bean and tomato. And then we also have our avocado, maybe 1 avocado slice per. There we go.
That looks so good.
And this is our quesadilla with black bean and tomato salsa with avocado. So I wanted to thank you guys for being here. Kazoo, you're awesome.
Thank you for letting
Anna
us.
Grace, you're awesome. So guys, this is Building the Basics at Bodacious. I'm Chef Nick, and we will see you next time. Thank you.